End of game replay algorithm, part 3. Hi everybody, this is Sam with Python Basics, and in today's video we're going to be wrapping up the detailed logic, the complete decision making, finishing up our algorithm. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us. This is what we do. We do micro videos. Sometimes we have a little series like this where it's so big we need to break it up. But to just kind of recap, we are going through and we are designing an algorithm that's going to take a data set of a first-person shooter game, their points, their timestamp, and see which view is going to be replayed. So we've gone through, and it's a variation of our sliding window where we're going to come through, we're going to slice out, then do some arithmetic and some logic to decide if we need to continue on, and we move on through there. So last video I did not have in, let's move this up. I did not set any variables yet, so I went ahead and did that before we got started. So we need to have max user, max points, max timestamp, temp points, and then a max delta time. So the way that we're going to do our decision is we're going to, whoever has the shortest amount of time with the most points under 3 seconds, that's the decision logic that we're going to be using. So let's just go ahead and get started. So all right, so we're going to be building upon how we sliced out and moved through our zip and enumerated object, our zip then enumerated object. So all right, we're going to comment this out and we're going to build upon it. So we need to come here and then we're going to go for index and actually let's use temp in our joined and then I. So we're going to be taking this, placing it here, and then we're going to iterate through this. So let's go back to our example. So our first grab, we're going to grab everything. Then we're going to have that down here. Then we're going to iterate through that. Then the next time through, we're going to go and grab a smaller window of it. Then iterate through this, and so on as we go through. And it would be the example of this right here. So we start out. We have 4, we have 3, we have 2, we have 1. So that's why we're iterating through this. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and unpack our points and our points and our timestamp. And actually, we need to do that here. So point. Now, this is our I is our enumerator, so our index. And our J is our zipped object of our points and our timestamp. So point is J index 0, and our TS is J index 1. All right. Let's bring this up so you can see. So now the first thing we need to do is we need to do some math to make sure that we are still able to continue adding points if it's less than 3 seconds. So we need to get our delta time, and all that is this is our zipped object, point and timestamp. So temp 1 minus, that wasn't minus the timestamp. So let's just kind of go through this. So every time we go and we get a new joined, we are looking back at our first sliced out. So here's our timestamp when we're going to continue. So 14 minus 12 16 minus 12, that's greater than 3. So we're going to stop that right now. So we're going to do that right here. So if delta time greater than 3, break. All right. So that's step 1. Now, if this doesn't break, we want to add all our points to our temp points. And then that is just going to be temp points and then temp 0, because this is our, I think you can see that. Yeah. Points timestamp. All right. So we are then going to add that. All right. So we've done a lot of the heavy lifting. So we're adding, we're continue, as long as it's less than 3 seconds, we're going to keep adding to our temp points. Now, this is where we get to start making our decisions. And this is still indented inside this for loop. Now, we'll go over this, and I'll move this over so everybody can see. Because now we need to decide when to reassign our maxes. So if our temp points are greater than our max points, then we reassign everything. So max points equals temp points, and then our max timestamp equals our timestamp, because we want to know when to go back to, and the also point of view. All right. So who we're going to look at and when we're going to look at it. So max user, and then that's just the user we have, and then our max delta time is delta time, because we're just wanting to track this. So now there is another condition. So this is pretty cut and dry. All right, if our temp points are greater than our max points, of course we reassign everything. But what happens if the points are the same, but again, we want this small, there's 2 conditions. Well, there's one overarching condition, has to be less than 30 seconds. But then the most points in the shortest amount of time. And this is how we have to handle this one. So temp points equal to max points, and make sure delta time less than max delta time. So what we're doing here is, okay, what happens if somebody has the same amount of points, but one user, this current user, did it faster than the last user? Well, then our algorithm should pick them. So then we do this right here, and we just paste this in. So now, all right, let's back all the way out. There we go. And we're going to print max points. Let's put the user first. User, I don't know why that's popping up all the time. Max points, max TS, max, we already put the user up, and we want max user. Not our current user. All right, max user, max points, max TS, max delta T. So we can actually, so we're going to see who it is, how many points, the timestamp, and how long it took. So let's just go ahead and run this. And I missed a very important step of resetting the temp points every time through. Temp points equals 0. because what we did is that tabulated all the points. Let's do this again. There we go. It also changes who it is. So the way that we read this is the user, the max user had 425 points. They're the timestamp that we need to go back and replay from, and this is how quickly they did it. And you can just kind of go back over here and we can validate this. So it said that Steve-O had 425 points because all of this was under 3 seconds, 2.98, and then Python starts having some rounding issues. So we could handle that by throwing a round around that. But this is this algorithm. I was quite intrigued that because I never really thought about this, and I was just one day sitting playing my game, and I was like, I wonder if I could really design this algorithm. So this is the kind of stuff that I want to challenge you to do when you see things going on around you and how the decisions that are being made, to see if you can replicate them, because I bet you can. So what was kind of weird is when I started doing this, I just threw it against the wall because I had done sliding windows before where I knew I literally got it to work and run, and then I had to spend more time going through and being able to articulate the steps that I was using, because my subconscious actually did a majority of the work and wrote this. And then I think it was like almost a month later that I came back and started to record this, and I had to then make extensive notes. So what the point of that is it's not me showing off. It's saying this is just a muscle. This is just a muscle where you use it, you exercise it, and it will begin to work on its own. So there we go, guys. Real quick video today. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Please drop any comments, questions, video requests. Make sure you're jumping on the Discord server down below. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you really enjoyed today's video. And if you haven't, check out this video right here or this one right down here. And most important, make sure you're hitting this subscribe button and the notification bell. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see you next time. Bye, guys.